So, Alma, how are you doing?
Thank you for having me, Srishtea. I'm doing well, thank you.
Right. So let's get started with our discussion for today. So, Alma, during a previous conversation, you mentioned that you were into sports during your primary years of childhood, and you were diagnosed with cerebral ataxia when you turned 10. And doctors were not able to find exact cause this um, disease in you. So still doctors haven't been able to corroborate like what exactly caused this in you. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, so it was definitely very difficult. But oddly, when I was diagnosed, I felt oddly special, because I think at that time the X-Men were kind of like a fad we used to go through. There was a lot of hype on that. So, like the mutant gene, the X gene. So I said, I would refer to myself as a mutant. That's not a very good thing to say, but I think that's how I kind of consoled myself, saying that I was different, and the X-Men are different, right? And they have powers.
Right. I mean, the fact that you mentioned that you consider yourself to be one of those X-Men, characters, that's like really amazing. I would really want to, put it out there that people, or if there's someone who's watching this and if they have been feeling this way, so there are bigger way or bigger perspective to look at things, and this was one of them that you mentioned. I really believe in the ideology that individuality and that unique trait that anyone bestows is what makes them stand out amongst others, and stand out amongst the whole crowd. Like every person is so unique in their own ways. And adding up to that, what do you have to say to anyone who is suffering? And I would not really refer to as suffering, but any neurological condition that is similar to cerebral ataxia. So, what do you have to say to those people?
Well, I don't think it's just cerebral or it's just neurological conditions. I think it's conditions on a whole. Even things that are non-conditioned, real medical conditions like obesity or depression, it's any difference, right? And I think it's just everyone is different, but everyone is valuable, right? Like everyone has their own unique quality. So I think it boils down to self-worth, right? If I have a counterpart, there's always going to be something that she can do different and that I can do different. Hey, I have a balance condition that affects my motor coordination, my balance, right? But there are a lot of strengths that I have that maybe you wouldn't, but someone wouldn't, right? So those have to be appreciated, and not the disabilities, but the abilities that make us all different and unique, right? I recently posted a video on my YouTube channel, and it was called "Why Do You Try So Hard to Fit In When You Were Born to Stand Out?" Right? So, like whatever your difference is, everyone, especially in a childhood, wants to shun any differences. As a child, you want to be part of the in crowd, the clique, the club, whatever it is, But I think as time goes on, we all accept our differences to some extent, and we do what we have to do. But I think people in my situation who had more glaring differences, I think you like turn the tables. Instead of saying, "Oh, poor me, why me?" I think just say that, okay, I'm different. That's great. How can I appreciate that, right? Because everyone has a uniqueness, and because of that uniqueness, everyone has an ability and a quality that should be applauded.
So I believe in order to make a change, the journey that you have started is absolutely tremendous in itself. But taking into account that people here in India, they tend to believe in myths rather than factoids, and not to mention about 60% of the population still somewhat remains not as much literate. So, what do you think about it, and what is your next step to increase the awareness related to the issue?
Well, my goal is to be a voice for people with not just handicaps, with really any differences. So I have a plan. My first plan is to become a motivational speaker, which you're definitely helping me with, Srishtea. So thank you for helping me get my voice out there. But in terms of, I think in terms of hardships on the journey, I think, yes, you're right. I think any movement is difficult, right? Whether it's inclusion, race discrimination, color discrimination, women's equality around the world. These are movements that have happened maybe decades ago, and they're still going on. Some countries are more advanced than others, but they're all journeys, and every single journey begins with one step. And this is, I think, one of my steps towards a more equal India. Now, I know it's going to take a long time, right? India is far behind other countries, but like I said, a journey does start with a single step, and let's make a step together.